All right, everybody, it is 3:47, so we are going to go ahead and get started. First and foremost, congratulations for being accepted to the 2021 VJAS Symposium. We're super excited for you, but we do want you to know that this is a quicker turnaround than VJAS seasons in the past. It is only 2.5 weeks away. Like seriously. So it's going to be fast and furious. It is time to prepare. So there are a lot of dates that are going to be coming up that you're going to need to stay on top of. Again, it's only 2.5 weeks, but you need to be on. All right. And so you'll see that you already have an assignment that's due today. It's that Google form that's in the chat. It's also on our Canvas page. We need you to confirm if you are going to be participating in the symposium on May 15th. All right. If you are not going to be participating, we need to know that because we can't move on to the next step of registration. So that's where you're going to, upload some of your materials and things like that until we get this info. So we need this done today. We need to know if you're coming or not.
Yeah, the county is paying your $20 fee, and they're going to pay it based on you guys filling out this form, and we really need this done by the latest on Monday. So we need to have you do this today, and anybody not here in the meeting, I will be sending a reminder to get them to do that tonight.
Awesome. So again, that's due at midnight tonight. We need to know. Okay. So now let's talk about, the steps. Well, before we do that, let's talk about, what the dates are, what the steps are, what's happening. And so for the next deadline that's coming up really fast is, this Saturday, there is a webinar with VJAS, an official webinar that you will need to attend. And that link is on our Canvas page for you to get to that Zoom meeting. But here's the hiccup. It's on Zoom. We don't use Zoom. We use Microsoft Teams. And so the county is specially going to be configuring our devices so that we can install Zoom so that you can participate in this meeting. And so that is happening now, like they are working on it. And so please look out for a Canvas assignment. As soon as I get that information, I'm going to post it up there to, the instructions on how to install Zoom on your computer. Again, that needs to be done before Saturday. So look for this tomorrow. We should be getting that information soon. All right. So after this webinar on Saturday, you'll notice that another deadline comes on Sunday. Like, oh my gosh, we're hitting it hard. Okay. Your presentation that you're going to give at VJAS, the PowerPoint of it is due on Sunday. All right. We're going to give you very specific directions on what you need to put in that PowerPoint today. But I want you to notice it is coming up fast. Okay. There are also some optional special awards, scholarships, and student officer positions that you can apply for. We're going to, give you some information on how to do that again, but we don't have that information because we haven't confirmed your attendance. So once we get that info, again, you're going to need to be watching that Canvas page and that to-do list like a hawk. We'll put up that information. Those applications are due May 5th. So next Wednesday, coming up fast. Okay. Now let's talk about practicing your presentation. So you're going to need to practice your presentation for your family, for your friends, for yourself at home, but also with a science teacher. And that will need to be completed by May 10th. All right, by May 10th. We've got a sign up, which I'm going to make accessible to you after today's meeting because we don't want you like all up in that doc trying to get your spot. Well, we're trying to give you important information. Okay, so we're going to give you access to that document right after we wrap up here. Okay, this year, VJAS is requiring you to record a video backup of your presentation. in case on the day of the symposium, you have a connectivity issue, they have a connectivity issue, whatever it may be, they want a backup. And so we are going to be giving you some detailed directions on how to do that. That's due May 10th, okay? And then it's VJAS time. May 14th and 15th are symposium time. You'll give your presentations on the 15th, and the award ceremony will be a week later on the 22nd. So this is a quick overview of the dates. We're gonna, again, make this presentation accessible to you after the meeting here. So, you know, feel free to check frequently. Okay, so let's talk about this deadline that's coming up on Sunday, and it's your PowerPoint. Yes, I said PowerPoint, not Google Slides, okay? We need to use PowerPoints. I know that's frustrating. You can see I love Google Slides. I'm using them right now, but they want PowerPoints, all right? And so your PowerPoint needs to inform the audience of what you actually did. So Dawn, I'm sorry, I wanna let you go ahead and speak on these slides, what we're looking for.
Okay, so for each of these things, you want to have a separate slide in your PowerPoint presentation. When you go to Canvas and you see the assignment for this PowerPoint presentation, you will also see a rubric. And the rubric has a little snippet of what we should be seeing on each one of these slides. There's also, if you go to the VJAS.org website, there's also a instruction manual for doing them as well, but we kind of shortened it and made it easier for you to find on Canvas. So in introduction, you want some background information and include why you're doing this project. Again, they are PowerPoint slides, guys, not your paper. So when you put a PowerPoint slide together, you should have minimum wording and you should have bullet points and you should have images, but not, I don't want to read your paper on a PowerPoint, okay? Nobody does. Experimental design, definitely bring in some pictures here to show everybody what you set up. Materials and methods, this kind of goes together, the materials and methods with the experimental design. So if you have some pictures, you can also put them in there. And if you have a short list of materials, you can make that list and then give a few bullet pointed main steps to your presentation. Remember, you're going to be explaining it. We shouldn't be glued trying to read your slide while we're trying to also listen to what you have to tell us. Data presentation, graphs and data tables. We do not want raw data here. We want calculated data. We want summative data. You're going to do one. Most of you will have one data table and one graph. A few of you have done more detailed projects where you might have more information than that, and you might need two data tables or two graphs, and that's fine. Just make sure that they go together and that they have proper titles, and the titles match. The data table and the graph should have the same title because they have the same data, right? Discussion conclusion, you are talking about what did you find out when you did your experiment, and then in your conclusion you're telling us did your data, and I want you to use data in your conclusion. Claim evidence reasoning. Tell me what data supports or does not support your hypothesis. When you are talking about analysis, sorry, that goes up in here, my bad. We're talking there, you're going to be showing your graph, but you're also going to talk about your statistical analysis. Make sure you let us know what your null hypothesis was. That should actually be on the slide, and then discuss, was it supported, or sorry, was it accepted or rejected? Remember, null hypothesis, accepted, rejected, your research hypothesis, supported, not supported. We're not proving anything here, people. I don't want to see that P word anywhere on your slides. I don't want to hear it come out of your mouth. If you did this project 100 times, I would let you do that, but we don't have that kind of time. So, but we are seriously interested in seeing how your experiment came out and what you concluded from all of that hard work. Oh, and finally, next steps would be just like, what are you looking at doing next year? Are you going to continue this project? If you were to continue this project, what are you going to do? What would be the next thing you would do with it?
All right. So this is new. So if you have participated in VJAS in the past, brand new. All right, here. Your presentation needs to address these 6 questions. They want to hear about stuff that they did not read in your paper. Just like Ms. McCourt just said, they don't want to hear you repeat your paper. They read it already. They want to know, why'd you pick that project? What resources were helpful when you were designing that project? When you were designing that project, what constraints, what problems did you encounter? How did you handle those? How would you, change that in the future? Definitely, you're going to want to comment on, the strengths and limitations of your data. Like, how confident are you in that data? Use specific examples. Are there any possible errors that happened? And how would you make, recommendations to fix those in future study? Oh, did anything unexpected happen during your project? How'd you handle it? And then finally, they really want to know, what's the most important thing that you learned from that project? What are you getting out of it? And how would you use that information in the future? So these are really important. They might not necessarily be written on your slides, but you're going to want to include little cues for yourself, to know, oh, this is the part where I'm going to talk about, why I chose that project, or, what was most helpful. So definitely needs to be in your presentation, maybe not typed out, but we need to hear it. All right. So now we're on to step 3, practice, practice, practice. So first, you're going to need to practice your presentation on your own. All right. Get it down. Then, go ahead, rope in the family. Ask your family members to listen to it. All right. And then you're going to need to schedule a rehearsal with a science teacher. All right. We have set up a sign-up form. Again, I'm going to give you access to this after we finish this meeting. But essentially, this sign-up form has different slots that teachers have volunteered to host a session where they'll listen to you. All right. And so here's a look at the form. All right. Key things to note. You're going to need a copy of the teacher rehearsal form. This is what you're going to give the teacher so they have something to evaluate you with while you're giving your presentation. So that's here in this document. You can see Dr. Bennett is in the document. But again, they need this form so that they can actually grade you while you're giving your presentation. Now let's talk about, where do you sign up? So you can see we've got a ton of days, and these purple slots are all available times. The first available dates are Monday, like this Monday, okay, during the science office hours. All right. We've got all times next week. So please make sure that you pick a spot that's got a teacher. And the last day to get this done, as you can see, is May 10th. This is the last day to do that.
There are not enough slots on May 10th for all of you. Okay, your job this weekend is to get your presentation ready. Get your PowerPoint done so that you can practice using the PowerPoint to create your video. But don't make the video until you've had some feedback, because otherwise you'll just wind up making it 2 or 3 times.
Right.
But get the PowerPoint done this weekend so that you can get feedback next week and you have time to modify it so that you are ready to go when we have to do the full-on presentation. You only get one rehearsal with the teacher. So you want to make sure you've practiced before you get to the teacher with someone else so that you feel pretty good about it when you get there. You also want anybody who's watching you present, encourage them to ask you questions, because the judges are going to ask you questions. So if your parents are watching or your siblings are watching you, encourage them to ask you questions. They may know kind of what you did, but they probably have some questions, especially when you're presenting. They might notice you left something out. So it's a good idea to give them those 6 questions that we want you to answer in your presentation, so that when you are presenting, they can look and say, oh, he got that question, she got this one. Okay, we're good to go here. Because that way, you know, you got it, right? Otherwise, they'll be like, hey, you did everything, but you missed question 4. Well, where there's some strengths, limitations to your data, you know, so that way, you know, you can go back and say, okay, I need to add something to my comment cards. And remember, you're allowed to use index cards to sort of spark you to keep talking and understand, you know, and to hit all 6 of those questions.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, you know, the
Okay,
lights.
we'll see you.
All right. So please make sure you check with the teacher first before you're like, all right, I will give my presentation now. Blah, 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 blah. No. Like, slow down, introduce yourself. Like, hey, this is, you know, who I am. This is my grade, what grade I'm in. And do you have access to that form so you can evaluate me as I go? All right. And then just like what Ms. McCourt said, ask for feedback from the teacher. You're not going to get feedback. Know what to talk to you about and track that you actually did the rehearsal. All right. So you're not going to get like a beautiful email of all of the feedback ever. You've got to talk to that person. You've got 15 minutes to work with them. You know, so the presentation itself should be 10 minutes. And then that's 5 minutes to talk about it. So please make sure you are talking with that teacher, talking with your family members that you're presenting for, and getting feedback. All right. So now this is also new for 2021. So VJAS wants us to have a backup recording of your presentation. All right. So you're going to need to record yourself giving your presentation as a backup in case there's like a problem at the symposium, and then the judges will be able to judge that presentation. So we're going to give you a detailed Canvas assignment on exactly how to get that done. But I just wanted to put that on your radar that you are going to be submitting a recording of yourself. All right. Now let's talk about some deadlines that are coming crazy fast. All right. And so the special interest awards, I definitely encourage you to check out the VJAS handbook. There is descriptions of each of these awards, like exactly what to do. And you can see that like, this is due tomorrow. I don't know, Ms. McCourt, how okay. I believe that they moved up this deadline to May 5th. I believe, let me go back and check. Thanks, guys. Sorry.
I don't.
Yes,
I have May 5th.
They changed it.
Yeah.
So they changed it for this very reason that I'm talking about. I'm like, wait, that's tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So they did change the date on this. So scratch that April 30th. It's May 5th. Okay. So don't freak out. You have a few more days. The reason why we need a few more days is because we need you tonight or today to confirm your attendance, so that we can give you access to the portal so you could apply to these things. All right, so we just want to get on your radar that right now you could go look at the VJAS handbook. You could figure out which ones you are applicable for, which special interest award, and then get you thinking about your application. You can do that now. All right, scholarship applications. This is again this is May 5th. They pushed it up for us. There are some scholarships available. Here they are right here. We're talking some big money. All right. Look at the VJAS handbook. Read through those. Maybe some of them are applicable to your project. All right. Get that on your radar because, again, those are due May 5th. Okay. Those are the major things. Ms. McCourt, I think we're going to go ahead and take some questions. Is there anything that you'd like to say before we open it up?
I just want to reiterate that we really need you to fill out that attendance today, because you fill out the attendance, we send that list to the Ed Center, they pay your $20 fee, and then they'll open the portal. they will not open the portal for us until we have paid all of your fees. And we cannot pay all your fees until you fill out that form. So the goal is to get that done today so that we can submit it tomorrow.